Well, Patrick, now it's time for our DVD picks for this episode.
Yes, the DVD picks. This episode, I chose August Rush. After cellist Lila, played by Kerry Russell, and guitarist Lewis, played by Jonathan Rhys Meyers, share an enchanted evening together, circumstances rip them apart. And the child produced by the union is put up for adoption by Lila's father, and he is raised by an artful Dodger-type stranger, played by Robin Williams, who attempts to capitalize on the boy's musical talent. Determined to find his parents, the boy, known as August Rush, played by newcomer Freddie Highmore, relies on music to draw his mother and father to him. Now this movie, at times, can be unbelievable, but no matter how unlikely this story seems, you can't help but fall in love. The young Freddie Highmore portrays an excellent August Rush, and I hope to see him in many movies in the future. Robin Williams, a brilliant actor, in this movie he adds a unique and masterful performance to his resume. The constant presence of music carries the viewer note by note, and in the end creates a wonderful visual symphony. August Rush is a feel-good movie and a must-see. Russell, there are gold up in them hills. It's a bonanza all the way.
Oh, that's good to hear. Well, Patrick, I reviewed The Great Debaters. This was a movie done by Denzel Washington and Oprah together.
Sure. Yeah.
It was a great movie. This film was based off of a true story during 1935 in Texas. A professor named Melvin Tolson, played by Denzel Washington nonetheless, is from Wiley College, and he inspired many of these students to stand up and speak of the current events that were going on in this time frame. Tolson leads a life of activism while motivating his students to do the same. Tolson's students made accomplishments that sparked a series of wins that not only furthered the team that year, but the years to come. The 1935 debate team of Wiley College made it much further than anybody ever could have expected. They made it to Harvard University, where they debated against white students in a time when segregation was not around. This revolutionary act was a monumental moment in a time of racism. So for me, this movie was extremely heartfelt. It had addressed issues of racism that were very pertinent to that time. I felt that this movie it captured the essence of freedom of speech, and was much more not only on the learning of how to debate, but a movie of morals. Denzel Washington played a magnificent teacher and not only led the debate team, but the cast members of this movie as well. To me, this movie was made of motivational techniques and a movie that you must go out and buy. That's what I thought of this movie, Patrick.
Wow. It sounds like we had some excellent DVD picks this
Absolutely.
episode.
Absolutely.
All right, well, you know what time it is now, Russell.
I sure do, Patrick.
Yeah, it's time for the big
Bonanza
bust. I don't know about you, Russell, but when I think of big Bonanza bust, I immediately think of Cloverfield.
I sure do, too. That was a ridiculous movie, Patrick.
It was. Cloverfield starts at a going-away party in Manhattan. It's interrupted when a mysterious giant-sized monster launches an attack on New York City. With camcorder in hand, a small group of friends make their way out into the chaotic streets, scrambling to stay alive. Now that's a premise of a movie that's going to take you far.
Yeah. To me, it reminded me of Godzilla, a second-rate Godzilla. It was ridiculous. It was horrible.
Well, you say Godzilla, but I'm asking, where was the monster? I mean, you see the monster's leg, you potentially see a tentacle, but this certainly didn't rely on the actors to carry this movie. They were awful. So what I would say is a monster movie, absence of a true monster, does not a monster movie make.
I agree. And not only was the monster horrific, but the camera filming. That was ridiculous. Well, at one point, it made me sick to the stomach and I couldn't finish my soda pop.
Well, the thing is it was done with one camera, right? It was done with one camera. It's a camcorder that they just carried around, which is pretty probable. If you're being attacked by a monster in New York City, you're going to want to film it all.
Yeah.
I don't know. No one has the level of suspense of disbelief to even believe this movie. Did you?
I didn't believe it. You couldn't see the monster. I didn't know what was chasing him. For all I knew, it was a big rabid bunny.
Which would be frightening. But
yes.
When it comes right down to it, Russell, this movie is not scary enough. The monster is not seen enough. The actors are just good enough to be killed. The only thing that the movie does is make you sick enough to puke.
And leave the movie theater early so you don't have to watch the end of the film.
That's right. This is big Bonanza bus material
Most
all
definitely.
the way.
Big Bonanza. Big as the monster, in fact.
That's true. Well, I think this wraps up our episode.
I think it does too.
This time.
I think it's been a very cram-packed episode with great movies and not so great.
And not so great too. Very exciting though. So, we'd like to thank you for joining us. And once again, we always do this so that your next trip to the box office is a bonanza.
So now that you've got that greased pig, let's cook some bacon and get ready for the next show. See you, folks.
Bacon, I like bacon.